What if I told you there's a grain hiding in plain sight? One so powerful it can help balance your blood sugar, safeguard vital organs like the heart, kidneys, and eyes, and even promote nerve repair, while still leaving you feeling full and satisfied. Sounds like a superfood, doesn't it? But it's not some exotic, hard-to-find ingredient from a faraway land. In fact, chances are you've passed it countless times in your local grocery store without realizing its potential. Here's the kicker. Most people have no clue just how effective this grain can be for managing diabetes. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 grains every diabetic should have on their radar, grains that not only taste amazing but can also help you regain control over your blood sugar levels. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end. The final grain on the list will surprise you, and it might just become your secret weapon in the fight against diabetes. Let's start with one of the most essential grains in a diabetic-friendly diet, steel-cut oats. Sourced from the Avena sativa plant, these oats are a breakfast staple, and sometimes even used in savory meals, that truly stand out when it comes to stabilizing blood sugar. Unlike rolled or instant oats, steel-cut oats undergo minimal processing, which means they take longer to digest. This slow digestion gives them a glycemic index of about 52, placing them in the low to moderate range, making them far less likely to trigger sharp spikes in blood sugar. Their glycemic load sits at around 13 per serving, which is still considered moderate, especially when consumed with fiber or protein-rich foods. A single cup of cooked steel-cut oats contains roughly 150 calories, 27 grams of carbohydrates, 4 grams of fiber, and 5 grams of protein. That fiber alone fulfills about 14% of your daily requirement and includes beta-glucan, a special type of soluble fiber known to reduce the absorption of both sugar and cholesterol in the intestines. Plus, you'll get a healthy dose of iron, 15% of your daily value, magnesium, 20%, as well as zinc, phosphorus, and vitamin B1, all crucial for maintaining nerve health and supporting your blood vessels. And let's not forget avenanthramides, powerful antioxidants unique to oats that reduce inflammation and help protect vascular health. For people with diabetes, steel-cut oats offer benefits on multiple levels. The magnesium may enhance insulin sensitivity by 10 to 15%, while the fiber, especially when combined with protein or healthy fats, can lower post-meal glucose spikes by as much as 30%. These more stable blood sugar levels don't just make you feel better in the moment, they also help defend your kidneys, eyes, and nerves against the long-term damage linked to oxidative stress. Beyond blood sugar and inflammation control, oats offer a quiet yet essential benefit. They nourish the gut by feeding the beneficial bacteria that support metabolic stability. The ideal serving? Just a quarter cup of dry oats, which expands into about 1 cooked cup, roughly 6 ounces or 170 grams. This portion size provides all the nutritional perks without overwhelming your system with excess carbs. The beauty of steel-cut oats lies in their versatility. Whether you prefer something sweet or savory, they adapt beautifully. Try simmering them with unsweetened almond milk, then topping with cinnamon, berries, and a handful of walnuts. Or, go the savory route by adding sautéed spinach, creamy avocado, and a soft poached egg. No matter your taste, oats can easily become a daily staple. That said, portion control is key. Just because oats are a healthier carbohydrate doesn't mean they're limitless, especially if you're carefully managing your glucose. Stick to that 1 cup cooked guideline to keep blood sugar steady. And if you're sensitive to gluten or diagnosed with celiac disease, make sure your oats are certified gluten-free, as they can be exposed to cross-contamination during processing. Here's a common misconception: all grains raise blood sugar and should be avoided by diabetics. While that might be true for refined options like white bread or sugary cereals, it's far from accurate when it comes to steel-cut oats. When eaten in the right amounts and paired with protein or healthy fats, oats can actually help lower blood sugar, reduce cholesterol, and stabilize energy levels throughout the day. So, not only are oats a safe choice, they're one of the smartest additions to a diabetic-friendly diet. Oats are impressive, no doubt. But what if I told you the next grain is not only high in protein and gluten-free, but also delivers all 9 essential amino acids? It's small in size, but its nutritional power is enormous. Enter quinoa. This ancient grain, scientifically named Chenopodium quinoa, has carved out a permanent spot in health-conscious kitchens around the world, and for good reason. Though technically a seed, quinoa behaves like a grain in cooking and nutrition. With a glycemic index near 53 and a glycemic load of just 13 per cup, quinoa offers steady, sustained energy without spiking blood sugar levels, making it a stellar choice for those managing diabetes. 1 cup of cooked quinoa contains around 222 calories, 39 grams of carbohydrates, 5 grams of fiber, and a generous 8 grams of protein. Here's where it gets even better. Quinoa is one of the rare plant-based foods that's considered a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs but can't produce on its own. This is a huge win for anyone following a plant-based or vegetarian lifestyle. The fiber content alone meets about 20% of your daily requirement and includes both soluble and insoluble types, supporting everything from digestive health to stable blood sugar levels. Plus, it delivers a strong dose of essential nutrients, including 30% of your daily magnesium, along with significant amounts of iron and potassium. Quinoa also brings powerful anti-inflammatory compounds to the table, including antioxidants like quercetin and camphorol. These work behind the scenes to ease chronic inflammation, the very kind that often leads to complications like nerve damage, kidney strain, and vision issues in people with diabetes. But that's not all. Quinoa helps regulate blood sugar levels, supports a healthy gut microbiome, boosts heart health thanks to its good fat profile, and even aids in wound healing due to its protein and zinc content. Not bad for a grain that takes just 15 minutes to cook. The recommended serving size is half a cup of cooked quinoa, which translates to about 4 ounces or 120 grams. That's more than enough to give you the benefits of fiber and protein without going overboard on carbs. It's also incredibly flexible in the kitchen. You can toss it into salads, layer it into grain bowls, or stir it into soups for an added nutritional punch. For a savory twist, pair it with roasted veggies, a drizzle of lemon, fresh herbs, or even scrambled eggs at breakfast. You can easily swap it in for rice or pasta in your favorite meals. Still, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. While quinoa is naturally gluten-free, it contains saponins, compounds that may cause mild digestive discomfort for some. Luckily, a quick rinse under cold water before cooking is usually all it takes to remove them. Also, as with any carb-containing food, portion control is essential. Despite being nutrient-dense, quinoa still contains carbohydrates, so it's best to pair it wisely, especially if you're already including other carbs in the same meal. One common misconception is that people with diabetes should avoid all carbohydrates, even those from whole grains like quinoa. But not all carbs are created equal. Quinoa's fiber, protein, and nutrient profile actually work to regulate blood sugar, not destabilize it. So when someone tells you grains are off the table, quinoa confidently proves otherwise. Now, as amazing as quinoa is, the next grain on our list goes even further. It has a glycemic index so low it's nearly off the charts. And surprisingly, it flies under the radar for most people. Let's bring it into the spotlight. Number 3 on the list, barley. Specifically, we're talking about hulled barley, not the more commonly found pearled variety. Hulled barley comes from the Hordeum vulgar plant and has been a source of nourishment for thousands of years. What makes it a standout for people with diabetes is its exceptionally low glycemic index, around 28, making it one of the slowest digesting grains available. Its glycemic load per cooked cup is about 11, which means it gradually releases glucose into the bloodstream, maintaining stable levels for hours after eating. A single cup of cooked hulled barley offers approximately 193 calories, 44 grams of carbohydrates, 6 grams of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. Impressively, that fiber content satisfies nearly 24% of your daily requirement, and most of it is the soluble kind, especially beta-glucan, the same blood sugar-friendly fiber found in oats. But barley doesn't stop there. It's also packed with selenium, magnesium, zinc, iron, and a variety of B vitamins. What truly sets it apart, however, are its antioxidants, such as lignans and phenolic acids. These combat chronic inflammation, reducing the risk of diabetes-related issues like neuropathy, kidney damage, and slow healing wounds. Barley's health benefits extend well beyond blood sugar control. The beta-glucan fiber helps lower LDL cholesterol, nurtures the growth of beneficial gut bacteria, and supports heart health by improving arterial flexibility. The magnesium found in barley can enhance insulin sensitivity by as much as 10%, and its anti-inflammatory nature offers protection for delicate nerves and blood vessels, especially in the eyes and kidneys, which are vulnerable to prolonged high glucose levels. A diabetes-friendly portion is about half a cup of cooked barley, again, around 4 ounces or 120 grams. With its chewy texture and nutty flavor, barley is easy to work into your meals. Use it in hearty soups, toss it into grain bowls, or try it as a warm breakfast base with cinnamon and unsweetened almond milk. Mix it with lentils and herbs for a fiber-rich lunch, or serve it alongside roasted vegetables and olive oil for a satisfying, blood sugar stabilizing side dish. A quick word of caution: barley does contain gluten, so it's not suitable for individuals with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity. Also, don't confuse hulled barley with pearled barley. Pearled barley has had its bran layers stripped away, along with much of its fiber and nutrients. If you're buying barley for blood sugar management, choose hulled barley. Yes, it takes a bit longer to cook and has a chewier bite, but your body will thank you for the extra effort. And let's clear up another myth while we're at it. Some believe barley is off limits for diabetics simply because it's high in carbohydrates. That couldn't be further from the truth. What matters most isn't just how many carbs a food has, but the quality of those carbs. Barley's high soluble fiber content slows digestion, moderates glucose absorption, and prevents the spikes that cause complications. Far from being the enemy, barley is one of the best grains you can include in your diabetic-friendly lifestyle. Before we move on, I want to hear from you. Where in the world are you tuning in from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. It's always inspiring to see how far this global diabetes and healthcare community reaches. Now, let's dive into the fourth grain on our list, bulgur. Quick to cook, rich in nutrients, and surprisingly gentle on blood sugar, bulgur, also known as cracked wheat, is one of the most underrated grains out there. Made from whole wheat grains, specifically Triticum durum, bulgur is parboiled, dried, and then cracked into smaller pieces. The result is a fluffy, nutty grain that's not only delicious but also incredibly practical for busy weeknights. And when it comes to managing diabetes, bulgur is a smart addition to the menu. Its glycemic index hovers around 48, and the glycemic load for a cooked cup is about 12. Low enough to help prevent the spikes and crashes that wreak havoc on energy and glucose levels. A single cup of cooked bulgur contains roughly 150 calories, 33 grams of carbs, 8 grams of fiber, and 5.5 grams of protein. That fiber content alone covers more than 30% of your daily requirement, making it a strong ally for blood sugar control. Because fiber slows down digestion, allowing glucose to enter the bloodstream more gradually and preventing those sharp post-meal increases in blood sugar. Bulgur also packs in essential minerals like manganese, magnesium, iron, and phosphorus, all of which play crucial roles in regulating blood pressure, supporting insulin function, and maintaining overall metabolic health. The iron, in particular, helps keep red blood cells functioning efficiently, which is especially important if you're dealing with diabetes-related fatigue. This whole grain doesn't just stop at balancing blood sugar. It also helps lower LDL cholesterol, supports the growth of good gut bacteria, and reduces systemic inflammation, all of which contribute to better insulin sensitivity. The magnesium fiber combo may enhance insulin action by as much as 15%. And the anti-inflammatory compounds found in whole wheat can shield your nerves, blood vessels, and kidneys from damage associated with long-term elevated blood sugar. A healthier gut also improves immune function and speeds up wound healing, critical for people with diabetes who are more prone to infections. A recommended serving size is about half a cup cooked, around 4 ounces or 120 grams. That's enough to deliver solid benefits without overloading on carbs. And thanks to how fast it cooks, bulgur makes an excellent base for countless dishes. Mix it into a Mediterranean salad with chopped cucumbers, tomatoes, parsley, and olive oil. Stir it into soups or stews for added texture and fiber. Use it in place of rice or pasta, especially when you need a more blood sugar-friendly option. It's also perfect in stuffed vegetables or grain bowls with grilled chicken, fish, or chickpeas for a hearty, balanced meal. But there are a few caveats. Bulgur is made from wheat, so it does contain gluten, meaning it's not suitable for individuals with celiac disease or gluten intolerance. And like any grain, even the healthiest ones, portion control is essential. Eating large amounts of bulgur, especially alongside other starches, can still raise blood sugar levels more than you'd like. And here's a common misconception we need to challenge. Fast-cooking grains are automatically bad for diabetics. That's true for some, like white rice or instant mashed potatoes, but bulgur is a different story entirely. Despite its quick prep time, it remains a whole grain full of fiber and vital nutrients. So yes, it's fast, but it's also incredibly smart. If you're looking for a grain that's both convenient and compatible with your blood sugar goals, bulgur may just become your new favorite pantry staple. It's clear that bulgur makes healthy eating easier. But coming up next is a grain that many people with diabetes are told to avoid altogether. Is that warning truly justified? You might be surprised by the answer. Let's talk about number 5 on the list, brown rice. Fifth on our list is a grain many people with diabetes are often told to avoid, but that advice might be due for a rethink. Let's talk about brown rice, one of the most familiar, comforting staples in kitchens worldwide. Unlike white rice, which is stripped of its most nutritious layers, brown rice comes from the Oryza sativa plant and retains both its bran and germ. That small difference makes a huge impact. It's in those outer layers that the fiber, antioxidants, and vital nutrients are found, elements that make all the difference for blood sugar management. Brown rice has a glycemic index of approximately 55 and a glycemic load around 18 per cooked cup. That puts it in the moderate range, but when consumed in sensible portions and paired with the right foods, it becomes a tool, not a threat, for metabolic health. In 1 cup of cooked brown rice, you'll find about 216 calories, 45 grams of carbohydrates, 3.5 grams of fiber, and 5 grams of protein. That fiber helps regulate how quickly glucose is absorbed into the bloodstream, slowing digestion and preventing post-meal spikes. But brown rice is more than just fiber. It offers a dose of magnesium, selenium, manganese, and several B vitamins. Magnesium in particular is crucial for insulin regulation, and research shows that increased magnesium intake can reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by up to 15 to 20%. You'll also benefit from antioxidant compounds, such as phenolics, which help guard your cells from the oxidative damage caused by elevated blood sugar over time. For people managing diabetes, brown rice offers a multifaceted set of benefits. It helps stabilize blood sugar, feeds beneficial gut bacteria through its resistant starch, supports cardiovascular health by reducing inflammation and improving lipid profiles, and may even lower the risk of complications like diabetic neuropathy and retinopathy, thanks to its anti-inflammatory and vascular supporting nutrients. Another bonus? Its slow-burning energy makes it ideal for avoiding the highs and crashes associated with refined carbs. The key to harnessing these benefits lies in portion size. About half a cup of cooked brown rice, roughly 4 ounces or 120 grams, is the sweet spot. It's not just what you eat, but what you eat it with that matters. Pair brown rice with high-fiber vegetables, lean proteins, or heart-healthy fats to create balanced meals. Think a stir-fry with bok choy, tofu, and bell peppers, or a vibrant grain bowl with grilled salmon, steamed broccoli, and creamy avocado. Skip the sugary sauces and opt for fresh herbs and spices instead for flavor that's diabetes-friendly. Of course, a few considerations are important. Brown rice contains phytic acid, which can reduce the absorption of minerals like zinc and iron if consumed in large quantities over time. And while it's naturally gluten-free, cross-contamination during processing is possible, so look for certified gluten-free versions if you're sensitive. Also, moderation matters. Brown rice is a wholesome carbohydrate, but too much can still spike blood sugar levels. And let's bust a myth while we're here. Rice is off-limits for diabetics. That's simply not true. The real issue isn't rice itself, it's the type and the portion. When eaten intentionally and in balance, brown rice can absolutely support metabolic health. It's not about strict restriction, it's about mindful nutrition. With its hearty texture and nutrient-rich profile, brown rice earns its place in a thoughtful, blood sugar-conscious diet. But now, let's move to something even more surprising. Our next pick isn't technically a grain at all, but it might be one of the most powerful foods for managing diabetes from the inside out. Sixth on the list, buckwheat. Despite its misleading name, buckwheat isn't related to wheat and is, in fact, a seed from the Fagopyrum esculentum plant. That means it's naturally gluten-free, making it a safe and nutritious option for those with gluten sensitivity or celiac disease. But its benefits go well beyond that. Buckwheat stands out for its impressive blood sugar profile. It has a glycemic index around 49 and a glycemic load of roughly 13 per cup of cooked groats, placing it in the low to moderate range. This makes it a smart, slow-burning carb that helps maintain steady glucose levels. In 1 cup of cooked buckwheat, you'll get approximately 155 calories, 33 grams of carbohydrates, 4.5 grams of fiber, and nearly 6 grams of protein. That fiber alone satisfies around 16% of your daily needs, and when combined with buckwheat's resistant starch and protein content, it slows digestion and prevents rapid spikes in blood sugar. Nutritionally, buckwheat is also an excellent source of magnesium, offering about 21% of your daily intake in just 1 serving. Magnesium supports insulin sensitivity and plays a role in blood pressure regulation, 2 areas that are critical for individuals managing diabetes. But perhaps the most impressive compound in buckwheat is rutin, a rare and powerful antioxidant not commonly found in other grains. Rutin helps strengthen blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and protect the cardiovascular system from the wear and tear caused by chronic high blood sugar. Not only does buckwheat help regulate blood sugar, it may also offer protection for 2 of the most vulnerable organs in long-term diabetes, the eyes and kidneys. But its benefits go even deeper. Buckwheat acts as a prebiotic, feeding the gut's beneficial bacteria, which influences everything from immune health to metabolic balance. By lowering LDL cholesterol and combating oxidative stress, buckwheat contributes to a healthier heart while also helping protect the body's smallest blood vessels, those often damaged by high glucose levels. Its anti-inflammatory effects may reduce the risk of diabetic complications like neuropathy and slow wound healing, making it an all-around ally in diabetes management. A sensible portion is about half a cup of cooked buckwheat, roughly 4 ounces or 120 grams. That's just the right amount to reap the rewards without overdoing the carbs. In the kitchen, buckwheat is wonderfully adaptable. You can use it to create a savory breakfast bowl topped with eggs and avocado, mix it into warm salads with roasted vegetables and olive oil, or cook it with herbs and garlic as a satisfying rice alternative. Buckwheat flour also blends beautifully into pancake or crepe batter, providing a blood sugar-friendly, fiber-rich twist to your favorite recipes. That said, a few considerations apply. While naturally gluten-free and safe for most, some individuals may have buckwheat allergies, particularly those who are also sensitive to seeds or nuts. And like any high-fiber food, it's best introduced gradually to avoid digestive discomfort. Also, don't let the name fool you. Buckwheat has nothing to do with wheat and is not loaded with sugar. In fact, it's quite the opposite, one of the most underrated tools in a diabetic-friendly pantry. With its rich nutrient profile, blood sugar stabilizing effect, and impressive antioxidant power, buckwheat deserves a spot in every smart diet plan. Next up is a grain that's been nourishing civilizations for millennia, and now, it's making a serious comeback in modern kitchens. 7th on the list, farro. This ancient grain, known botanically as Triticum dicoccum, is one of the oldest cultivated wheats and was a dietary staple for early agricultural societies. With a glycemic index between 45 and 50, depending on how it's prepared, and a glycemic load of about 13 per cooked cup, farro offers a steady release of energy and supports more stable blood sugar control. A cup of cooked farro contains roughly 200 calories, 40 grams of carbohydrates, 5 grams of fiber, and 7 grams of protein, making it both filling and nutritionally robust. The fiber content supports slow digestion and helps prevent blood sugar from spiking, while the relatively high protein content extends satiety and adds a metabolic edge. Farro is also packed with essential micronutrients including magnesium, zinc, iron, and B-complex vitamins like niacin and B6. These work together to reduce inflammation, support wound healing, and protect cells from oxidative damage. Farro also contains polyphenol and carotenoids, antioxidants known to fight cellular stress and preserve vascular health, an especially important factor for those with diabetes. Beyond its metabolic support, Farro offers a major boost to cardiovascular health. Its fiber and antioxidant blend may help reduce LDL cholesterol and ease inflammation in blood vessels, important for diabetics, who are often at increased risk of heart disease. Magnesium in Farro supports nerve function and can enhance insulin sensitivity by as much as 10%, while zinc and B vitamins assist in protecting vision and speeding up wound recovery. Like buckwheat, Farro also contains resistant starch, which nourishes gut bacteria and enhances digestive health, yet another factor that indirectly supports glucose balance. A diabetes-friendly portion is half a cup cooked, about 4 ounces or 120 grams. That's enough to enjoy its benefits without overloading on carbs. With a chewy texture and naturally nutty flavor, Farro pairs perfectly with roasted vegetables, leafy greens, legumes, or lean meats. Toss it into soups or grain bowls, or mix it with olive oil, lemon juice, and herbs for a nutrient-packed salad that keeps well for days. It's delicious both warm and chilled, making it perfect for weekly meal prep. Keep in mind, Farro does contain gluten, so it's not suitable for those with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity. It also includes phytic acid, which can slightly reduce mineral absorption, but this is generally not an issue for people eating a well-rounded diet. And as with all carbohydrates, portion control matters. Even whole grains like farro can raise blood sugar when consumed in excess, so aim to pair it with fiber, protein, or healthy fats to round out your plate. Let's bust another myth while we're at it. Ancient grains like farro are too heavy for diabetics. Not true. Farro may have ancient roots, but its nutritional profile is right at home in a modern, diabetes-conscious lifestyle. It's loaded with slow-digesting carbs, plant-based protein, and gut-supporting fiber, everything you need to keep blood sugar balanced and energy levels sustained. So, if you're ready to add something hearty and healthful to your grain rotation, farro is an excellent option to explore. And now, we turn to a grain that's long been overlooked but is finally getting the spotlight it deserves. 8th on the list, millet, a grain that has quietly nourished civilizations for centuries and is finally getting its due recognition in modern nutrition. Derived from the Panicum miliaceum plant, millet is naturally gluten-free, gentle on digestion, and packed with benefits for those managing diabetes. Its glycemic index lands around 52, and its glycemic load per cooked cup sits at approximately 13, placing it squarely in the low to moderate range, especially when paired with fiber or protein-rich foods. What sets millet apart is its slow-digesting nature, which provides sustained energy and helps keep blood sugar levels from spiking. A single cup of cooked millet offers about 207 calories, 41 grams of carbohydrates, 2.2 grams of fiber, and around 6 grams of protein. While the fiber content isn't extremely high, the type of fiber it contains is highly effective at slowing carbohydrate absorption. Combined with its protein, this makes millet a blood sugar-friendly grain that digests gradually and supports better glycemic control. Beyond its macronutrients, millet delivers essential minerals like magnesium, phosphorus, iron, and B-complex vitamins. It also boasts antioxidants such as ferulic acid and catechins, compounds that reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, two significant contributors to complications like nerve damage, kidney strain, and impaired wound healing in people with diabetes. The magnesium in millet plays a dual role. It supports both insulin sensitivity and blood pressure regulation, while studies suggest that millet-based meals may even help lower fasting blood glucose and HbA1c levels over time. Millet also promotes gut health by feeding beneficial bacteria in the microbiome, an increasingly important factor in metabolic balance. A healthy serving is about half a cup cooked, or roughly 4 ounces, 120 grams, giving you the benefits without tipping the carbohydrate scale. With its subtle, nutty flavor, millet adapts well to both sweet and savory dishes. Use it in place of rice, stir it into soups, or cook it with herbs and spices for a warming side dish. It's also fantastic as a breakfast base, topped with cinnamon, berries, and a splash of almond milk, or blended into veggie patties for a fiber-rich twist. Still, a few notes of caution apply. While millet is gluten-free, portion control is important as with any carb-containing grain. It also contains goitrogens, natural compounds that may interfere with thyroid function if consumed in large amounts over time. That said, millet is completely safe for most people when included as part of a balanced diet. And here's a myth that needs to be debunked. Millet isn't too exotic or difficult to prepare. In truth, it cooks just as easily as rice or quinoa, and nutritionally, it holds its own against the best of them. If you're looking for a warm, satisfying grain that nurtures blood sugar balance and gut health, millet deserves a place in your diabetic-friendly kitchen. Now, let's shine a spotlight on one of the smallest grains with one of the biggest nutritional payoffs. Ninth on the list, amaranth. Though technically a seed, known as a pseudo-grain, Amaranth comes from the Amaranthus genus and has been revered in traditional cultures for thousands of years. Today, it's emerging as a powerful ally for people with diabetes. With a glycemic index of about 40 and a glycemic load of 11 per cooked cup, Amaranth sits comfortably in the low glycemic category, providing sustained energy without triggering sharp blood sugar spikes. Don't let its small size fool you. Amaranth is nutritionally dense. 1 cup of cooked amaranth contains roughly 250 calories, 46 grams of carbohydrates, 5 grams of fiber, and a remarkable 9 grams of protein. That's nearly 20% of your daily fiber and 18% of your protein needs, helping you feel full, slow digestion, and moderate post-meal glucose levels. What truly sets amaranth apart is its unique nutrient profile. It's rich in calcium, magnesium, iron, phosphorus, and antioxidants like polyphenol and flavonoids, compounds known to reduce chronic inflammation and protect against diabetic complications such as nerve damage, kidney dysfunction, and retinal issues. It also supports vascular health, helps reduce LDL cholesterol, and combats oxidative stress at the cellular level. The magnesium content in amaranth may boost insulin sensitivity by as much as 10%, and its anti-inflammatory effects have been linked to faster wound healing and lower risk of neuropathy. Additionally, amaranth is easy on the digestive system and contributes to a healthier gut microbiome, an area of growing importance for blood sugar regulation and metabolic well-being. The ideal serving size for amaranth is half a cup cooked, 4 ounces or 120 grams, giving you maximum nutrition without overwhelming your carb intake. With a slightly nutty, earthy flavor and a texture that's somewhere between quinoa and polenta, amaranth is highly versatile. Enjoy it as a warm breakfast bowl with cinnamon and chia seeds. Add a few fresh berries to your bowl of amaranth for a touch of sweetness, or incorporate it into savory dishes like pilafs, soups, or veggie patties. You can even pop it like popcorn and sprinkle it over salads or yogurt for a delightful crunch. Naturally gluten-free, amaranth fits easily into most diets. However, it does contain oxalates, which could pose a problem for individuals prone to kidney stones. Like many plant-based foods, it also contains phytic acid, which may slightly reduce mineral absorption, but soaking or properly cooking amaranth can minimize this effect. As always, portion control is key. Just because something is healthy doesn't mean it should take up half your plate. A half-cup serving of cooked amaranth, about 4 ounces or 120 grams, delivers plenty of benefits without overwhelming your carb count. And here's a myth to toss out. Amaranth isn't some strange, hard-to-find, expensive grain. It's affordable, easy to cook, in just 20 minutes, and works beautifully in recipes that usually call for rice, couscous, or even oatmeal. With its nutrient density, blood sugar-friendly profile, and satisfying flavor, amaranth is a small grain with a massive impact, and well worth a permanent place in your pantry. Amaranth sets a high bar, but now, let's end with a bang. The final grain on our list is bold, beautiful, and not technically rice at all. But when it comes to nutrition, it's next level. 10th on the list, wild rice. Despite its name, wild rice isn't actually rice. It comes from aquatic grasses in the Zizania genus, not the same plant family as white or brown rice. But for people living with diabetes, wild rice is an absolute gem. Its glycemic index is around 45, and its glycemic load per cup is just 10, making it one of the most blood sugar-friendly grains available. Its rich, earthy flavor and chewy texture are matched by its ability to help keep glucose levels calm and steady. In a cup of cooked wild rice, you're getting about 166 calories, 35 grams of carbohydrates, 3 grams of fiber, and a solid 7 grams of protein. The fiber content covers roughly 12% of your daily needs, while the protein slows digestion and helps you feel fuller longer. But what really elevates wild rice is its nutrient density. It's loaded with zinc, magnesium, phosphorus, and folate, plus powerful antioxidants like anthocyanins, the same compounds found in blueberries, that help combat inflammation and oxidative stress. For people managing diabetes, this translates into long-term protection for the nerves, kidneys, eyes, and blood vessels. Wild rice supports your body in a multitude of ways. It can lower LDL cholesterol, improve insulin sensitivity, and keep your digestion smooth and balanced. Thanks to its antioxidant strength, wild rice may help prevent cellular damage that leads to diabetic complications like neuropathy and retinopathy. Its B vitamins aid in energy production and nerve repair, while magnesium supports insulin function and may increase sensitivity by 10–15%, helping your body maintain more stable glucose throughout the day. And the best part? You don't need a lot. A diabetes-friendly serving is around half a cup cooked, or 4 ounces, 120 grams. Its chewy texture and nutty flavor make it a fantastic base for grain bowls, soups, and stuffings. Try it with sautéed mushrooms and herbs for a cozy side dish, or mix it with a bit of brown rice and quinoa for a fiber-packed blend that transforms a basic meal into something deeply satisfying. A few things to consider. Wild rice is naturally gluten-free and well-tolerated by most people. However, like all grains, it still contributes to your daily carb count, so moderation remains essential. And because of its tough outer shell, wild rice takes longer to cook, usually around 45 minutes, but it's well worth it. Make a large batch and store it in the fridge to simplify your week's meals. Here's a final myth worth busting. Wild rice is just a fancier white rice. Not even close. It's an entirely different plant, with a completely different nutritional profile. Unlike white rice, which is quickly digested and causes blood sugar spikes, wild rice is slow-burning, rich in protein, and packed with antioxidants that white rice simply can't compete with. If you're looking for a hearty, flavorful grain that supports your health without compromising your blood sugar goals, wild rice is more than a smart swap. It's a powerhouse grain that deserves a starring role on your plate. And there you have it, 10 remarkable grains that not only satisfy your appetite but also support your fight against diabetes. These aren't just carbs, they're tools to help you build a more balanced, healthful, and energized life. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these grains are already staples in your kitchen? Which one are you most excited to try next? Drop your answers in the comments below. I read every single one. If this video brought you value, give it a like so YouTube knows that content like this matters. And share it with someone who's been told to fear grains. They deserve to know the truth. Don't forget to subscribe for more science-backed tips that empower you to manage your blood sugar naturally. This is Diabetes Healthcare, where every bite counts, and every video brings you one step closer to better health. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy, and keep making food choices that work for you, not against you.